Hey, oh my Lord, this was crazy. I kept trying to go on and on and on, and it just wasn't. It kept saying that I wasn't allowed to go on. It was retrograde in full effect. Now, I notice when we have spiritual blocks that retrograde really tends to bring all those blocks to the surface to make us look at them. Welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My channel is all about healing the effects of psychic trauma. So if you're someone that has problems within your relationship, or you feel like you get triggered a lot, you have trouble finding and obtaining abundance in your life, this is a channel for you. Because it's all about integrating spiritual wounds into spiritual gifts. So I was shuffling my mini deck before I came on. I have a mini deck. And I pulled this one and I liked, and so I decided to choose the title to this video. Is there anything about this person that I can't see or understand clearly? And then I wanted to know also, how was it affecting your connection? So is there anything about your connection that you don't see clearly? And how is it affecting your relationship? The reason why I wanted to, again, use that is because, again, I talk about the spiritual blocks. We're going to look at the hidden truths. We're going to look at the karmic themes. We're going to look at how to integrate the spiritual lesson to see, again, why you're going through the experience. To begin with, all spiritual experiences grow the soul, right? So if you're new to the channel, anything that you need to know about the channel, you can find in the description box below. I have two other YouTube channels. One's just a Virgo channel, and one's I do different talks on. It's a speaker's channel. All right. Let's get into it. And now know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed, flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Never force anything. Okay, just you'll know if it resonates intuitively. Now you may say, my intuition doesn't work. Everyone's intuition works. It's that sometimes you might not be able to tell the difference between anxiety and intuition. Emotion and intuition. Intuition comes on randomly. It's just, again, usually felt in the gut. There's a little bit of a flutter. Sometimes could be felt in the heart. It's not all the time logical. Again, logically makes sense. It's just a feeling. A lot of times, if anything, logically what we see, it shouldn't make sense. Okay, past life. That one fell out. Unstructured. The genius. Light. Okay, what I feel right now is that you're in a past life connection with someone, and the relationship is, there's no real commitment. There's no anything really. Might not even be talking to this person. It's not a relationship that, again, logically makes sense. It might not look good on paper. In fact, it might look horrible on paper, but it's, again, there's an instantaneous knowing that you're supposed to be with this person. And I say that because of the genius. The genius is the God part of self. The God part of self is the part of self that has soul recognition with other soul family tribes that we have. Again, and we have these people, like these people come into our life, and why we have these people is to grow the soul. So God gives us these people, or if you don't like the word God, the universe brings you these people to, again, help you grow your soul, to help you evolve into higher states of consciousness, which is unconditional love, which is light, which is, again, this genius part of self. However, past life connections are difficult. They're difficult because usually you're getting someone that thinks a lot differently than you do. They handle things a lot different than you do. They may be very logical and analytical, and you're very sensitive and emotional. Um, they might come from a different religious background. Again, different culture. Just do things differently, see things differently, approach life differently because of the environments that you both grew up in. But again, love, there is no rules. It is unstructured. It's again, it's intuitive. Different part of the brain. So, what are the karmic themes that we're supposed to be looking at in this relationship? What are the karmic themes that are happening in this? Oh, look at that. Accessing past life wisdom. Okay, like, so again, it's helping me understand things with a new perspective. So, because of your relationship with this person that you're in separation with, you're both accessing wisdom. And that wisdom all the time is teaching you about yourself, and it's teaching you about your wounds, your shadow parts of yourself. Because understand, if somebody doesn't think the way that you do, they don't handle things the way that you do, and you're not comfortable with love, let's just say you don't trust very easily because you have gotten hurt in the past, then you would tend to want to do things your way. You would tend to want to control things. I'm also feeling like the traumas came from households that you both were brought up in. So there was also a sense of abandonment. Now, that doesn't mean that your parents left you, but emotionally, you felt as if you had to play a certain role in order to fit in. This relationship, because it's so unstructured and it's so different and you think so differently, it's the moment that you try and control it, you wind up bunking heads. And so there's a sense of being triggered a lot, but then there's also this passion and this deep connection. So understand, past life relationships are hard because again, there's that soul recognition. The person feels like home, and we identify with them with unconditional love, but we then tend to perceive that they are going to express love in the way that we perceive love should be expressed, and they don't. So that a lot of times creates, again, the friction and the wounds because we're looking for that person to give us what we didn't get. And so understand, whatever you didn't get in childhood that you've buried, that became part of your subconscious wound, you might have not, you didn't look at. You might say, well, I like to be in control of my relationship, but you might not know why you would like to be in control of your relationship, why you find it hard to find balance. So the relationship actually helps you transcend back to those wounds, how they originally formulated, where they originally formulated, what your thoughts were about it. And then you are presented in this relationship where you also have unconditional love, and now you can't break it. So you may be having trouble forgiving or letting go of traumas that were created in childhood, and this relationship is one way that you're being taught forgiveness. You're being taught to let go. You're being taught that, again, no one can damage you. That we tend to get stuck in karmic themes that make us perceive that we're damaged, and where that is, again, where the light can't get in. It's again the shadow aspect of ourself, is a part of ourself that we disconnected from, the part of ourself that we don't like, the part of ourself that we feel rejected. Okay. We are alchemists. We transform fear into love and shadow into light. I'm telling you, that's what this relationship is all about. So even separate. So even if you never get into a real relationship with this person, because you're both kind of in a Mexican standstill, not wanting to give in, but feeling the effects of not giving in because you're mad, but the unconditional love is still there. So what's in replace when you're not together is really pain, and really you're just both hurting yourself. I'm conflicted about whether I have what it takes to be your partner. So it's again the shadow aspect of self is I'm not good enough. But if you don't go out and talk and articulate and ask for what you need and are honest, you'll never know and whether you're good enough. That's the whole thing. See, a lot of times we're with somebody and or we like someone or have a very strong connection to someone and they're not coming towards us. They're not offering us anything. And then we take it personally. So when we take it personally, understand in this situation, you brought up the wound in yourself of saying, well, I'm not good enough. What is it that I don't have what it takes when really there's mirroring going on. No, your person doesn't feel like they're good enough, but they're making you feel as if you're not good enough. So that's how it's affecting your relationship. You're seeing that this person, like again, is not wanting to, that is unrequited love when really that's not true. This is such an intense, deep love that again because of past life and that is supposed to happen is again because it's divine to help you again find the light within yourself. But in order to do that we have to pull out the wound, and the wound right here is I don't feel I'm good enough. But that wound didn't originate from this connection. It originated back in childhood where both parties have it. It's just playing out differently through different perceptions. This is why soulmates come into our lives. I feel like I don't deserve your love. I'm like, I'm worried you'll leave me when you see who I really am. A fear of abandonment. Fear of abandonment. So your person, again, is terrified. It says it here and it says it here. Two things of not feeling good enough. And again, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough. And the only way that this situation would really heal is if your person gets to see a different perception of like of themselves and the situation. But they are wounded. They need to do healing because they don't feel like they're good enough. And if they don't feel that they're good enough, even if they establish a relationship with you, they're going to come in and they're going to overgive you and then not be able to obtain. And that might even be where they don't give, but they over promise and under deliver, which again, then you would also feel triggered. So, because when we don't feel good enough, we tend to do that. We tend to get overstimulated because, and we love the person, we want the who we are, so that we can't expect that that person would like us because we're looking like at the situation through a very distorted lens. So it's important to know that before getting triggered, like saying this person isn't doing what I want them to do, they don't like me. They don't. It's again, they were just playing with my head. I don't think that that's true. I think that the relationship is just deep and intense. Our mission is to be unconditional love. Clearing our programming is necessary part of opening our hearts. So it's again, that's what your relationship is with this person. So do they know it? I don't know. We're going to find out. But this is a soulmate twin flame relationship. And it's all about, drawing out our wounds, the mirroring of not feeling good enough, perceiving that you're not good enough on some level because your person is acting that way. but they're acting that way because of the lack within inside themselves. But that's what this relationship is all about. It's again to look at those wounds, because we wouldn't volunteer to look at those wounds where we felt abandoned in childhood because we were felt like we were not lovable because maybe we did something wrong. Again, accidents happen. We're human. That's what happens. Sometimes our parents are in a bad mood, or sometimes things happen and we just blame ourselves, and it has nothing to do with that situation. So let's see some hidden truths. I'm going to do some hidden truths about what they feel, and then we are just going to end with the last message. To see, I am all over the place. I mean, retrograde is crazy. It is all over the place. Cards dropping, live streams not working, internet not working. And what I was saying is, whenever I feel like people have a lot of wounds with with retrograde, we tend to again bring up those wounds. Like it's whatever is out of balance. That's why miscommunication can tend to happen if we have blocks in our heart, in our throat chakra, or we can overreact or act overly emotional and sabotage a relationship during retrograde. We can again act like we don't care enough in retrograde. Again, whatever it is where the wound is, the behaviorism will wind up coming out to show what the wound is. See, a lot of times we don't know what the wound is. We just know that we've sabotaged a relationship. Or sometimes we don't even know that we sabotaged a relationship. Like with your person, they know that they're not happy with who they are, but they don't realize how that's affecting you because they're so stuck in their own world, in their own anxiety. They're paralyzed with self-doubt. Okay, so let's just look at some hidden truths. I hide behind material things. Well, if we don't feel good, again, you can understand why a person would do that. A lot of times we're trying to fill ourselves. We try and fill ourselves to feel good, right? And sometimes it's not even to feel good. Sometimes we perceive that people will like us better or see us differently if we appear to be a certain way, and that helps us see ourselves different. It's a way that the ego tends to go into survival mode. It's because no one, again, wants to feel like they're not good enough, they're not worthy. No one wants to feel that way because that feels empty, and that feels like we're not deserving of love. So again, the illusion is that we can fill that emptiness with outside things. You can't. You can't fill it with this relationship either. However, this relationship is pointing out what the wounds are within each of you. I'm going to ask one more and pull just right from there. I wonder if you are happy without me. Yeah, because now again the anger is gone. They're not mad anymore. Oh, when you get triggered from your past life partner, you get stuck in the emotion, you get stuck in the story because it brings you back to that wound. So if your person isn't giving you love and they abandon you, and then you don't react the way that they expected you to react, so now they perceive that you've abandoned them because they expected you to be a certain way. Well, it's again, everybody's looking at everything through distorted perceptions here, and really your person doesn't feel good enough to even come forward, so they kind of want you to come forward. It's to them, they want you to go to them, because again, they don't feel like they're good enough, but now they're stuck in a place of feeling sorry for themselves because again, they feeling like they didn't give you what you need. We're going to look and see exactly what they did. But right now they're stuck in this you know, energy of I'm going to hide behind material things, have people perceive me a certain way instead of live my truth because it's too scary to live my truth because I don't really know how you feel, but you wouldn't know how no one would know how you felt unless no one would know how anyone felt unless you had a conversation. But that would take your person surrendering their ego and being vulnerable, and they are terrified to do that. Remember, they've disconnected from that part of them. They don't believe that they're worthy of that part. So they don't want to go and visit it. They would like it just to come easy for them. But if it comes easy to them, they're not going to respect it. So, because they don't respect themselves. So you have to be careful with this. I left you before you could leave me. Right. Because they, again, never really gave it the chance. So I believe that it there was a few times of deep connection. There was deep talks. This person always insinuated that they were going to do something. You always tried to be as open to them, and then all of a sudden they just got scared. They ghosted. But they ghosted because they don't like who they are, because they say, well, I can't be with this person. I don't have my shit together. They, again, you brought everything out in them. They're looking at you, they're perceiving you to be a certain way. They have a bunch of masks on hoping that you perceive them a certain way. They are none of those things, or if they are, it's not as well. If they have a job, it might not be the best job. They might have money, but they might not be as rich. So remember, they're wearing a mask um to hope that you perceive them from the mask and not really who they are. So they can never let you get that close. So that's why they left you before you could leave them. But they realized that they never could really leave because you can't abandon love, unconditional love, because that is, again, the universe. That's God energy. That's unconditional love. You can't break it. It's actually what transcends time and space. A soulmate from a past life recognizes, they recognize because soul recognition, because it never dies. When a person dies and you have a connection to that person that still is dead, you're doing mediumship. You can still feel them through your heart, that connection, because ESP is through the heart and mind. There's nothing physical about it. So that energy, again, transcends time and space. So, and it can never be broken. So your person tried to run away, and what they realized is they brought their stinky butt with them. Meaning, like their everything that they perceive is ugly about themselves, everything of why you would never be with them, everything about lack and limitation with that they feel that they would bring to the table. That's what they ran from. But those are their wounds. They have nothing to do with you. All right, I'm going to put these cards back because I want to see what your hidden truths are about this person. I would like to see what your hidden truths are about this person. Let's see. My life is not as together as it seems. So again, your life is not as together as it seems as well. So again, a lot of mirroring energy here, a lot of twin flame soulmate energy that mirrors the wounds. And so again, if your life isn't as put together as it should be, are you trying to make it look like it is? It's not uncommon. And if you are, is that because you feel that you're not good enough, like it's not good enough the way that it is? So there's that lack and that abandonment. So at some point I felt lack. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like that there was something wrong with me. And now how I express it, I make it look like my life is actually better than it is. So that you perceive that I'm better than I am. So you treat me with the respect and honor that I feel like I deserve. But that's also distorted because people earn respect and not by through what they have. Yes, superficial people might do that, but not real people. Real people grow, real people that the relationships can grow into something. They give from the heart. They give of themselves. They're not bragging about what they have. They're not, again, no one's doing that. I know I messed up everything. I feel like this is still your person in actuality. I don't feel like this is you. I'm going to use a different deck. That's fair, because I feel like this is still talking about your person, to be honest with you. I do feel like you have a wound, a matching wound there, though. But I would like to know how, like, what are your hidden truths? What are your hidden truths? Kindness. So I feel like this person wasn't kind to you. I feel as if you tried to be kind to them, you tried to give them the love and support, and they didn't give you anything, so you feel rejected. Abandonment. And instinct made you be on guard all the time. And so, like, there isn't also this instinct of knowing you are my person, but you also keep me on guard. I can feel your wounds. And because of that, I don't really like know how this relationship could go because of everything that you've done in the past is what I'm feeling. So let's see. See, right now I feel like you're really angry and hurt because, again, these wounds were old and they really needed to be integrated. And they've needed to be integrated for a long time. So other situations and experiences that you have lived have had this karmic theme. So now this person that you have such a deep connection for, they have the same wound as you. And again, they awaken your wound because there's a mirroring effect of how you both made each other feel. But no one can make you feel that way unless the wound was there to begin with. That's, again, the reason why this relationship, and a lot of times we get this relationship before we can actually level up, because you can't evolve into higher states of consciousness if you are detached from pieces of yourself. If you don't feel like you're good enough and you feel like people abandon you because you're not lovable, understand people will come in and out of your life. But if you don't abandon yourself, no one can abandon you. Because if they're abandoning you, well, it's, again, as one door closes, another door opens. And if you're taking care of yourself and loving yourself and don't abandon yourself, then, like, would you be hurt if someone dropped out of your life? Yes, maybe for a day or two, but eventually it gets replaced with something that's of, like, I don't want to say better quality, but like you get what you need. You always get what you need. So what worked a long time ago in your life is not going to work today, because we're always changing and we're always learning and we're always growing, because we're always seeing life through different perceptions. But when that relationship drops out, or if it doesn't work out, it leaves space for what's going to come into your life that is actually better and is going to support your evolution further, which means you're going to raise your vibration to attract what is more desirable to you, what's more in alignment with your passion. Because This is a soulmate twin flame relationship, which understand unless we had a lot of passion for the person, we wouldn't stick around for this. For someone that loves us, but they can't show it. That, again, that they don't like themselves enough, so they're not going to care how they treat us. But understand, you got to ask yourself, why would you sit there and wait? I say, well, because I have a deep connection for them and I know that they can do it. But knowing that they can do it and then really doing it are two different things. Because a lot of times people sabotage the relationship, and they do because, again, they don't think that they're worthy of it. So I feel like it left you angry because you're like, I never get what I want. It never works out. I feel safe confiding in you. I trust you completely. I can share all of my secrets with you. I feel like this is your person. But it took them like destroying this relationship to actually trust you. Because again, they're associating that emotion of knowing, and that the fact that you feel like home, and they can feel that connection to you still. Again, that feels like unconditional love, and it just feels safe with actually being in a relationship. And possibly because every single relationship they wind up sabotaging, so everyone always leaves. But being that you're still there after everything that they've done, there's a sense that they really love you and care about you and miss you. But unfortunately, I don't really feel like you feel that way about them at this point. You know, I'm not going to lie. I want to see new deck. I would like to see X factor. I feel that there is still an emotional connection between you and your ex. Yeah, because they're not giving you anything. They're not giving you anything. And so because they're not giving you anything, you're saying, well, there must be somebody still there because you didn't give me anything. You came close and then not. But again, I don't really feel like that's what it was. I feel, again, that they would rather you think that that's what it was than see inadequacy like within them, to be honest with you. So what's the healing advice? Because at this point, it's like, how do you deal with this? Because your emotion, again, this is a general message. So some of you are going to take this person back. Some of you guys are not. I feel like the majority of you are going to take them back, but you're going to make them work. You're going to make them earn it. And the reason why is because it's a soulmate twin flame relationship, which we can't like distinguish and end that love. We can't, terminate it because we feel so connected to our soulmate twin flame. So if the person would work and again prove it to you, you would do it. I just feel like it would be a slow process, slower than they would like, but that's what they need. Again, they're getting what they need. They're learning patience. This person, just never had to work for anything again, or just always thought that everything was going to go their way. They threw a little temper tantrum, expected that you were gonna, go and fix it. And you didn't fix it, and then they sat in the dirt thinking about what they did. But you had to do that, otherwise they would never even looked at how they treated you. I am a spirit having a human experience, and I am here to get closer to love. So it's again, it's if you really love this person, regardless of what they've done, like to you in the past, you have to give it a chance because understand, like I said, unconditional love is the Spirit of God. We all, again, are down here to learn that, to evolve into these higher states of consciousness so that we can create our own heaven on earth. And we wouldn't know how to do that unless we were brought people and situations that were going to make us think differently, act differently, be differently. And so your person has wounds. You have wounds. But again, the only thing that can actually transmute your wounds fully is love. You cannot get rid of dark energy with dark energy. Dark cannot cast out dark, as Martin Luther King said. Only lightness can. And that's love. And so really what you would have to always deal with in this particular relationship is look at things from a spiritual perspective. That you're a spirit and they're a spirit. You're both having human experiences. You both had trauma, and you both need to learn how to find your balance within healing that trauma, which a lot of times that means not doing everything their way and them not doing everything your way. It's all about compromise. It's all about learning. And I'm going to put one more from the energy just to see again any more healing advice. Any more healing advice. Inner work. God brings me ideal situations for my inner healing as I become aware of my weaknesses. I turn them into strengths. I direct my thoughts towards the light and see the positive side of every stage of my life. Darkness turns into courage. Thus, I get stronger. As the same as anger and hurt and pain gets turned into love. And that's how we're going to end it, because that is, again, what this connection was all about. This connection is, whether you pursue it or not, is really all about healing so that you can evolve to get to the next layer, to get to the next level within your healing process. So you can, again, not just create the life that you want to have, but to really understand why we're here. Again, to learn, like, and once you transmute those wounds, it takes you deeper into your path, and not just your path, healing path, but your soul's purpose. A lot of times, again, you have to realize we're here for two things. We're here to learn that we're not separate from God, and to manifest. And it's your free will, what you choose to manifest. And you do that again by giving and receiving of love, which is your free will, which understand that is God's promise to you. But it's the whole reason why we're here. A lot of times we get lost in the process. Our life makes us, again, become wounded and see life through very distorted lenses, which then create behaviorisms and habits and situations then from those habits and conditions and behaviorisms that block us off, that keep us in a limited consciousness. So again, only love can heal, and that's what it's all about. So I'm going to leave it there. Now, if you resonated with this and you'd like to win a free reading with me, all you need to do is enter into winning a free reading, and that's like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word Master Healer in your comment bar. You'll know if you were chosen if I reach out to you with the word winner underneath your comment. And if I did, you'll just need to reach back out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com and allow 24 to 48 hours for me to respond. But I will respond with a date and a time that we can definitely figure out to, again, give you your free reading. So you definitely want to give me a few dates and times that you'll be available so that I can choose. And if it doesn't work out, we'll actually get it to work out that day. All right. All right. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.